Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, everybody is building upon the established protocols. So I do not see how and why I shouldn't also build on the established protocols. So I'm building on the established protocols. Thank you very much. Talking about how or the work that we did in coming up with the 8 recipients of the awards tonight, I must say that it was a really tough thing, in the sense that we had to sit through 6 sittings of at least 5 hours per day. So you can imagine the amount of energy, physical energy, mental energy, and then the professional experience that this drew from us. However, at the end of the day, we were able to come up with those who in our view, were deserving of the awards. Although we would have wished that everyone who participated won an award, it couldn't be, because they couldn't meet the established requirements and standards. However, I believe that in due course, those who could not have the chance to win awards during this year's celebration, they would be in a position to win awards next time. Our observations after our sittings are what we have been talking about all along in terms of what is expected of journalists. So I wouldn't want to go that way tonight. I mean, it's a well-beaten path to try to repeat what, for example, our main speaker our guest speaker from the US just said, what our national vice president has said, and what some of our well-wishers and sponsors have said. They all show that, yes, everyone wants the journalists to perform in a certain direction. However, what I want to put out is this, with respect to our observations. Whereas we all want journalists to perform in a certain way, we forget that they work under very serious situations and circumstances. Take, for example, the radio newsroom in Sunyani, for example, for instance. From a start strength of about 7 in around 2010 thereabouts, today there is only one fully employed journalist, and that is the MC. Now, how can one person report for Accra, report for radio, report for television, build bulletins for the station, and then go out on a daily basis to feed the nation or to fulfill his assignment? These things we do not know. We as the public, members of the public, we do not see the stiff challenges and the problems and the troubles that our media practitioners go through. So I believe that it is time to inform our heads, in terms of our political heads, that with particular reference to the public houses, for example, there is the need to employ more staff. Added to that, the issue of woefully very low remuneration conditions, especially for those in the private media space. These we do not normally talk about, but we always say that they must be able to perform in a certain manner. They must be able to do this, they must do that, they must fulfill this, they must fulfill that. But we forget that their remuneration is rather very, very poor. Added to this, overaged machines and equipment. Overaged machines and equipment. In Sunyani, for example, it would be a miracle if you were listening to the news bulletin from Accra, and at a point in the course of just the 30 minutes news hookup, things do not go off. It would be a miracle. Yes. What I mean is that sometimes the news broadcast from Accra takes off about 5 minutes before you are able to get hooked to the main feed. All these go with the issue of outmoded equipment. And it is not an issue that is limited only to GBC. These things that I'm stating, the ISD, GNA, Graphic, Times, are all victims and sufferers of this plight. So when we make call-outs regarding what we expect of journalists or media practitioners, let us also fight for their welfare, including the equipment that they work with. And then what I want to state finally is this. With respect to power, particularly with the media houses. Power, you know, we need power to operate with. Take a station like BAR, for example. Their machines. I'm informed that every month the amount of power they buy can, I don't want to go there. But what I want to say is this: there must be a way of helping solve some of these problems so that the media practitioners will be in a position to work better or to do what we expect them to do. Thank goodness the president met the leadership of the GJA yesterday, and according to what we just heard from our vice president, he's giving us assurance. But we also want to remind him that these are some of the problems that we face. And he being a member of this association, you know that he's a communications specialist. He being a member of this association, we expect that he works to help improve the circumstances of media houses and media practitioners. Thank you.